They thought our power was just stories. Humans dared us and took the wrong mermaid, the crown princess, my only sister, who only wanted love. She gave up her pearl, her power, her world for him. But he betrayed her, used her, laughed as she cried. Now I walk among them, not to forgive, but to bring her back, and show them what real power looks like, and make them pay for every tear. Once upon a time, humans and mermaids lived in harmony in Aqua Village. We, the mermaid clans, were calm and kind. We hid beneath the waves, only surfacing at times to dance in the moonlight, or listen to humans tell folktale stories by the riverbank. But humans felt they were superior to us. They mocked us. They threw stones at us, and called us weak for hiding. Still we remained silent, just because our ancestors had made a sacred vow to the gods of Aqua Land, to keep our magic hidden from the world above. To humans, we were just cursed creatures, half human, half fish. They felt we were unlucky beings casted into sea. And yet we endured. Our kingdom was ruled by my mother, Queen Amara, a wise, kind, and powerful woman. She had only 2 twin daughters, me, Amanda, and my sister, Amara. We were loved and raised in magic. But despite being twins, Amara and I were nothing alike. Amara was gentle, carefree, and joyful. Her smile could melt the hardest of hearts. And for strange reasons, Amara loved humans. She was always swimming near the shore, just to watch them. I never understood why, but her joy was my joy, and I would do anything, just to see her smile. Amanda was the quiet one, drawn to silence and shadow. I loved my space, and you'll hardly realize I was around. But despite our difference, I am deeply connected to Amara. We were soul sisters, and I could feel her every joy and every pain, while she could feel mine too. Our mother taught us magic. We could summon storms, speak to the moon, and command the deep ocean. But we chose peace, and watched humans pollute our waters. We endured their cruelty in silence. Then one day everything changed. Amara swam back to our secret place, glowing and smiling. Amanda, I've fallen in love, she said, with her eyes shining like diamonds. I laughed. With who? But she just giggled and swam away. Through our bond, I felt her joy, and I smiled, thinking she'd found a mermaid prince. But then, something dark stirred inside me. A sudden ache, like drowning while still breathing. I couldn't explain it, but I felt danger, pain, and fear. My twin instinct took over, and I followed her, with my heart pounding. But when I found her, she was dancing with the whales, and singing happily. So I sat quietly on a rock, watching her. And that was enough for me. To see her smile, that's all I ever wanted. But what could be this feeling? I know this feeling is connected to Amara, but she's happy. So what could be wrong? Confused, I sat down watching her, observing her every move, to see if I could find something. But Amara was more than happy. There's a glow in her eyes. So I ignored the feeling. Maybe it meant nothing. Amara couldn't hide her happiness. Even when we returned to the mansion, she was still glowing with joy. Yet she refused to tell me the source of her happiness, no matter how hard I pushed. And that's strange. She had never kept a secret from me before, and I could feel it in my bones. Whatever she was hiding, it was big, but I choose to wait. She'd tell me when the time is right. Right? The next day, she was gone. She disappeared without a trace. I searched for her, in the mansion, in our secret hideout, but she was nowhere to be found. But deep in my heart, I could feel she was happy where she was. Feeling tired, I sat down to relax. But then the feeling came again. This time it was more intense. I clutched my heart in pain. How could Amara be happy and in danger at the same time, I wondered. I summoned her pearl with my magic, and felt her presence in the human world. I panicked and quickly swam to the riverbank, her favorite place. And there she was, smiling and glowing with happiness. I smiled to myself, and swam closer. Then I froze. Wait, is that a human? I thought to myself. Amara, in the arms of a human, smiling happily, like they were longtime lovers. Amara, I screamed her name. Amara, and the man looked shocked. While I was fuming with anger, I was ready to unleash my wrath on the man trying to lure my sister away. I was ready to destroy him right there, until Amara rushed forward. Please don't hurt him. He's the one who saved me, she pleaded. Saved you? How? I asked Amara. My anger subsided for a minute, and I took a closer look at the man. He is handsome, but I could tell at a glance that there is something sinister about him just by looking at his eyes. Amara, what are you talking about? I screamed at her. She explained how she got trapped in a fisherman's net, and how this man freed her, asked her to be his friend. Then they both fell in love. We're in love, and I will be glad if you can accept him. Please. Amara begged. I looked at Amara. She was making that innocent face she knew I couldn't say no to. I sighed and calmed down a bit. Then I looked into the man's eyes once again, and felt it. Lust, greed, and something dark. He wasn't looking at her the same way she looked at him, and when he stared at me, it sent a chill through my spine. Is this what my sister fall for? I thought to myself while rolling my eyes. Amara, this is not safe. You are the crown princess, and you knew how much mother hated human. I'll be careful, Amanda. Trust me, please. She begged and wore that innocent look she knew I couldn't resist. I sighed and gave in, but I knew this was so wrong. I swam back, torn and caught between my loyalty to my sister and my duty to protect the kingdom. But one thing kept echoing in my mind. Something bad is coming, and I don't know if I could stop it. Days turned into nights, and Amara's bond with the human grew deeper. His name was Obim. Amara believed he was the answer to every fairy tale she had ever listened to by the riverbank. She clung to the hope of a love story that would be different, a love with a happy ending. She began sneaking out more often, leaving the safety of the ocean and the warmth of our bond behind. I pleaded with her, I warned her, but she brushed me aside like sea foam in the tide. I can handle myself, she said with a smile. I didn't trust him, but I trusted her. So I stayed in the shadows, watching, ready to protect her. And for a while, nothing happened. Weeks turned into months, and Obim did nothing but make her laugh, dance, and feel seen. So I relaxed, just a little, until the day she whispered those words that shattered my heart. Amanda, I've made up my mind. I turned to her, looking confused. About what? I want to become human. My heart stopped. What? I screamed, but she just smiled, and I could see the desperation behind it. I love him, Amanda. I'm ready to sacrifice everything, just to be with him. Amara pleaded. Can you hear yourself? You're the crown princess of Memora. You want to give this up for a man? I've thought about it carefully. Obim makes me feel alive in a way I can't explain. I'll tell mother, I snapped. Before I could move, she dropped to her knees and grabbed my leg, trembling. Please, Amanda, don't ruin this for me. You know what this means to me. Please don't turn my joy into pain. My chest tightened. I could feel her heart racing, because mine raced the same. Slowly I pulled her up and hugged her, but my mind was spinning. How will you become human? Mother never taught us that magic. She looked at me, with her eyes shining with reckless hope. I've heard tales that the sea witch knows how to turn mermaid to humans, she said with a glimpse of hope in her eyes. I stared at her. I was torn between fear and love. Please come with me. You're all I have, she begged with pains in her eyes. I reluctantly agreed, and as we swam toward the sea witch's cave, something cold gripped my chest. This time I could feel my heart breaking into tiny pieces, and I knew something terrible was coming. As I was lost in my own thoughts, I could feel Amara's confusion ripple through the water like a wave. Her thoughts were loud, muffled but heavy. Should I leave Amanda? Can I survive without mother? But I love Obim. I can't live without him. And this is my only chance to explore the human land. I looked at her and sighed. My own thoughts were louder. What if she regrets it? What if I lose her forever? Then we arrived at the deepest part of the ocean, and I was jolted back to reality. The sea witch cave was darker than night itself. The water thickened with mystery. Silence echoed like screams. We couldn't see much, just a ghostly shimmer of the witch's long silver hair, and the unsettling gleam of her piercing eyes in the shadows. Before we could even speak, her voice sliced through the silence. I know why you're here. Her words were slow, cold, and powerful. I can give you the magic you seek, but you must know every magic has a price. The water around us vibrated, and Amara held my hands tighter. Are you ready to do what it takes? To become human? Yes, Amara whispered with her voice trembling. I turned sharply to her, but she didn't flinch. Then turned my gaze back to the witch. The witch eyes narrowed. I can turn you into a human, but you'll lose your powers. You'll never sing the way you used to. Your magic, your strength, your superpowers, your grace, your spark will be gone. You'll only be left with your pearl, but its power will be sealed and silent. Amara's smile began to fade. Are you sure you want to lose so much? For a man? Are you even certain? His love is real. What if he betrays you? The witch asked while looking at Amara with a piercing gaze. There was silence, but I could feel Amara's heart faltering. Her confidence wavered like a flickering flame. Maybe, she whispered, maybe I should talk to Obim. Maybe I should ask him first. I said nothing. My own heart was torn into two. We turned and left the cave, swimming in silence, as we're both preoccupied in our own storm of doubt. But in the distance, it felt like something was watching, something was waiting. That night, Amara didn't sleep. She floated beside me in silence, with her eyes wide open, staring at nothing. I knew her heart was in chaos. I couldn't do anything but stand by and watch her follow her heart. By morning, she swam to the surface again to see Obim. I followed from a distance, hidden beneath the waves. The moment she saw him, her face lit up. Obim, she called softly. He turned and smiled. They sat on his boat and the waves rocked it gently. Amara couldn't hold it anymore. Obim, I've thought about what you asked me to do. I'm ready to become a human, she said with her eyes glowing with happiness. I want to be with you. Obim paused and smiled. But to me, it was a strange kind of smile. You would give up everything for me? He said with a grin that looks devilish to me. Amara nodded eagerly. Yes, my voice, my powers, my magic. I'll give up all to be with you. Obim chuckled softly, almost too quickly, as if his plan is working. I held my breath beneath the waves as I listened to their conversation, and then he said something that made my blood run cold. If you really love me, Amara, I want you to prove it. She blinked. How? Bring me something from your kingdom. Something powerful. That way, we'll be the most powerful humans together. Obim reassured her. Amara hesitated. What do you mean? Humans respect people who are powerful. You can bring your mother's shell, or a royal pearl. Anything magical. Anything that could make us powerful. Amara's face changed. She was uncertain, but Obim kissed her hand and smiled again. It'll just be between us, I promise, he said with his voice soft and charming. She nodded slowly. She was torn between love and loyalty. I wanted to scream, to drag her back into the ocean, but I couldn't move. Amara's heart was already manipulated by this human, and I couldn't break her trust in me. With no choice left, I swam back into the ocean. That night, Amara came home quiet. She didn't say a word as we lay on the crystal bed of seaweed, but I could feel her conflict. Her heartbeat was trembling, and I knew something had changed. She wasn't just in love anymore. She was blind. She was ready to do anything, even if it meant handing over the key to our kingdom. I sighed, then closed my eyes. Then I saw a strange vision. Deep in the shadows of the human world, Obim wasn't alone. He entered a cave. A dark voice whispered, "Soon, the ocean will be ours." My eyes opened wide in fear. What should I do? Should I betray our twin bond and tell mother, or should I support Amara? Days turned into weeks, and Amara couldn't have a proper sleep. Her glow dimmed, and anytime I looked at her, I could only see sorrow in her eyes. That night, she tossed and turned restlessly in the water beside me, her heart heavy with the decision she was about to make. I could feel her confusion through our bond, like distant waves crashing in my chest. I sighed, unable to silence the storm brewing in both our minds. Then just before dawn, she shook me awake. "Amanda, I'm ready." I blinked. Ready for what? To become human. I can't wait anymore. If mother returns, she'll read me like an open book, and that'll be war. Amara, no, you haven't thought this through, I pleaded. But her mind was made up. Her eyes was red and teary. It held the kind of resolve that terrified me. So, with my heart breaking in silence, I followed her. We returned to the witch's cave. The water around us was thick with darkness. Strange shapes moved behind the shadows. The air was colder and heavier. And then the sea witch appeared, with her long silver hair flowing like ghost tentacles, and her glowing eyes piercing straight through us. Before we could speak, her voice sliced through the silence. "Are you ready?" she asked. Amara trembled slightly but stood tall. "I'm ready." The witch tilted her head. "Once the spell is casted, there's no turning back. I will do anything," Amara whispered. Amara's hands shook, but she didn't move. "Are you sure this man's love is worth such a price?" the witch asked again. "Yes," she breathed. And with that, the ritual began. The cave lit up with deep dark magic. Incantations rose and echoed through the walls. Strange winds circled us under the sea, and slowly, I watched my twin sister glow. Her fins dissolved. Her voice echoed one last time like a haunting melody. And then she became human. She floated, naked and cold, with her eyes wide with pain and freedom. The witch stepped back. "Do not let him break your heart, Amara, for your pearl is within you, and once broken, you will never return." We hugged long and hard. Tears flowed like rivers between us. And then, she rose toward the surface. Obim was already waiting at the shore. He ran toward her with open arms, and I stayed behind, hidden beneath the waves, watching. Please let this be love. But just as they embraced, I felt it. A sudden pull in my chest. Amara's pearl. It flickered. Once. Then went still. Something had shifted. Something was wrong. And deep down, I knew this story was only beginning. I stood there watching till they disappeared into the village, with tears and broken heart. I returned to the sea, but it felt like part of me had departed. I've never been apart from Amara before, and this felt like hell. Just when I returned to the sea, the skies turned dark. Thunder rolled through the waters. Lightning danced across the palace walls. Mother had returned. Her eyes were fierce like burning sapphires. She searched the entire palace. "Where is she?" she thundered. "Where is the crown princess?" No one spoke, and I stood silently, with my head bowed and heart racing. "Amanda," the queen said coldly. "Tell me, what have you done? I tried to speak, but my voice failed me. Then she raised her staff and slammed it into the palace floor. A wave of punishment surged through me. My body was flung across the floor. You've betrayed your bloodline. You let your twin cross the sacred boundary into the human world. Tears streamed down my face. She begged me, mother. She said she loved him. Silence. The queen's voice echoed through the kingdom. For this betrayal, you shall bear the burden of her fate. If she dies, you die with her. My eyes widened in shock, and new waves of pain surged through my body. Yes, mother, I managed to say, and dragged myself to our secret chambers. With my last strength, using the magic mirror, I summoned Amara using our pearl. And there she was, happy and alive. The moment Amara stepped out of the river, she gasped. Sunlight kissed her brown skin. The wind wrapped around her like an old friend. Her new legs wobbled, but she stood tall. I have legs, she whispered, then laughed like a child. My heart ached with a strange mixture of joy and dread. Watching her, then I saw him. Obim. He stretched out his hand with a charming smile. But behind that smile, I saw it again. That glint. That shadow. That sinister grin he thought no one noticed. Amara didn't see it. She was blinded by love. She placed her soft hands in his, and he pulled her gently, leading her away from the river and into the unknown. This is all I ever wanted, she whispered. The happiness on her face made me smile. Then my magic faltered and I fell unconscious due to the punishment I received from mother. The sharp pain from my pearl jolted me awake. My heart thundered as I gasped for breath. Without wasting time, I summoned Amara through our pearl. She appeared before me in a glow of light, smiling with happiness on her face. I heaved a shaky sigh of relief. Amara, I whispered, are you sure your decision to become a human is right? If he's not treating you well, you can come home. We'll figure it out. No, he's treating me right, she said warmly. She opened her memories to me, and they rushed in like a tidal wave. I saw how the villagers admired her. I saw the way they treated her like a queen, the way they made her feel special. Every day felt like a festival, and she was living the fairy tale she'd always dreamed of. But as I watched closely, I noticed things she didn't. The strange glances she brushed off. The way Obim smirked when she's not watching. Some people were watching her every move, and Obim is plotting with some people. They were just waiting for the right time. Amara, please come back home. I had a bad feeling something's going to happen. Amanda, I'm fine. Obim is looking for me. I'll talk to you later. She ended the connection without a goodbye. I clenched my chest. Hope this girl won't kill both of us, I whispered. Then it hit me. My pearl glowed violently, and the pain tore through my body like fire. Then I felt that stabbing pain. I screamed, falling to the ocean floor and shaking in agony. Mother, I cried out. In a flash, Queen Mother appeared beside me. Her eyes widened at the sight of my pain. Without hesitation, she casted a binding spell to reduce it. But I was writhing in pain, with my soul screaming from inside. Amara, Mother mumble. She placed both palms on my pearl and muttered an incantation. A golden light flowed between us. Amara, she whispered. Using my pearl, she activated the magic mirror. And there, we saw her. Amara, sobbing and curled up in her mermaid form. She was locked in an iron cage. Obim, please don't do this to me, she begged with her voice trembling. But he only laughed. You really thought I'll fall for a filthy half-fish like you? He spat the words with venom, and with dark magic swirling in his palm, he summoned the pearl out of her. She screamed as the pearl forced his way out of her mouth. Her body slumped, weak and trembling. Obim held the pearl up with a grin. Now we have 2 pearls, he said, turning to his companion. We'll be able to use them to take the ocean wealth. Mother gasped. 2 pearls, she echoed. The mirror rippled again. Another mermaid was dragged forward in chains, beaten and bruised. We gasped when we saw the face. It was Queen Mother, long-lost sister. Mother let out a blood-curdling scream that shook the sea. You've asked for war, she whispered. Then we heard Obim speak. In 30 days' time, the pearl will be ready to use. Then we can kill the 2 mermaids. 30 days, Mother murmured. That will be the end of humans, she said. And with that she slammed the mirror shut.